Hello, welcome. My name is Jason. This week I'm in the 2023 Nissan Altima Sport Rally Variable Compression Turbo, better known as the SR-VC Turbo. And this one has surprised me quite a bit. As always, I'm going to talk about interior, exterior, talk about trims, options, tell you what this thing is like to live with. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look. The 2023 Nissan Altima is offered in 8 different trim levels, ranging from $25,000 in the S trim all the way up to $35,000 in this trim here, the SR-VC Turbo. This particular trim is offered in 8 different exterior colors, including this new for 2023 Gray Sky Pearl. It's a $395 paint option. The grille has been updated as part of this year's redesign, as well as has the Nissan logo. LED headlights are also now standard on all Altimas, and Nissan really does a great front end design with all the black trim here and this light design, fake vents here for fake air down under those. We also have 4 new wheel designs for this year, and I love these big 19s on this one. These are wrapped in all-season tires, heated mirrors with integrated LED turn signals, and some nice black trim around the windows. Below the windows are keyless door handles. These have the single button. I do prefer the touch inside to unlock and outside to lock, as it eliminates a little bit of confusion, but I'm glad it's keyless either way. And above the windows, we've got this little sunroof, more black trimmed lights around the back, along with a subtle spoiler here, and an SR and VC turbo badge, as well as dual exhaust for those turbo noises. And this trunk opens up into a 15.4 cubic foot cargo area. That's a good size for a mid-size sedan. It's about on par with the competition. Heading inside to the only interior option, charcoal sport leather. We have these NASA inspired zero gravity seats. I haven't floated away yet, but they are super comfortable. 8-way power adjustable with power lumbar support. We have a center console here with a little more gloss black than is preferable, since the correct amount of gloss black is none, but when it's clean it does look pretty nice. And they went with faux carbon fiber on the leather trim dash, which is a really nice touch actually. Physical buttons for the heated seats and wheel and dual zone climate are always appreciated, as is the wireless phone charging pad underneath. It works well even with a phone case on, and there's even an indicator to let you know when the phone is charging. Brilliant. Cup holders are off to the side and out of the way of the gear shift, the electronic brake, and the auto hold feature. Infotainment offers wireless Android Auto and wireless Apple CarPlay through a 12.3-inch HD touchscreen. That's new for the 2023 refresh, and it's the biggest in class. It feels like it's in a little bit of an awkward spot. I wish it were tilted toward me a bit, or maybe moved back a little bit, but otherwise it's smooth and clear and easy to use with its clean tile setup and customizable home screen. This one also has multiple camera views with easy access right here underneath the screen. While the screen is HD, the camera feed is quite fuzzy, and it's a bit strange that it doesn't use the full width. Music from this one pumps through a 9-speaker Bose sound system. The D-shaped steering wheel has some good girth to it, and it's leather wrapped and comfortable, and gets legitimately hot when you run heat through it. Buttons include the Pro Pilot safety system along with the standard cruise and infotainment controls. The lane centering button is off to the side here, along with a few other controls. And above the wheel is a clean and clear gauge cluster with your standard speed, tack, and range, as well as current speed limit and customizable center screen with fuel economy, speed, performance information, and a number of other options. The back seats offer 35 inches of legroom, which is a bit small for a midsize sedan, but as always, I fit back here just fine at 5'7", and I can get a front-facing seat in no problem. Rear-facing seats will be a little bit of a squeeze though. We also have vents back here, as well as a USB port. So first off here, we have 2 different powertrains across the Altima lineup. Most of the lineup will see a 2.5 liter naturally aspirated engine. This one here is the only way to get the variable compression turbo. And the variable compression part, I'm not going to attempt to get too deep into that explanation, but basically there is instead of using a single connecting rod, you have a multi-link system, and it can change the compression ratio based on performance versus fuel efficiency. But I'm sure there are plenty of other videos explaining that. I'm not going to get too deep into that. But this one makes 248 horsepower and 273 pound-feet of torque. And that is only if you are running premium gasoline. You do not have to run premium gasoline. You can run regular. In that case, you'll get 236 horsepower out of this powertrain and 267 pound-feet of torque. Still plenty for your daily drive. This thing can certainly move, and that power is running through an Xtronic continuously variable transmission. A CVT would not be my first choice for a transmission, but you know, it is efficient, and we've got gobs of torque down low. It's not one that you're going to wring out a lot, but we've got plenty of torque down low, get this thing moving. And I'm getting, you know, it's rated at 25 miles per gallon city, 34 highway, and I've been doing primarily city driving. I'm getting just under 30 miles per gallon average, so definitely pretty efficient. And power only goes through the front wheels if you're in this trim level. You can get the SR trim, the regular SR without the turbo, and some of the other trims in an all-wheel drive version, which will send all of your power to the front wheels most of the time, but as you start to slip, it can send up to 50% to the back wheels. And with this one being front wheel drive, it does not have a limited slip differential. You know, normally you have an open differential in most cars, where basically both of the wheels both of the powered wheels will spin at the same rate. If you have a limited slip differential, it can limit the slip by sending power to just one wheel or the other. And in this situation here, it has a brake-based system where it can pulse the brakes in one wheel or the other to simulate having a limited slip differential to help limit the wheel slip. This one being the Sport Rally version, the SR, and we're on the big 19-inch wheels, with 17s are available on some of the other trim levels, but the SRs will get you 19s, and we've got the sort of sportier tuned suspension in this one. But even with those big wheels and the suspension, it's actually really good in terms of ride quality. It's a really comfortable ride, a lot better than what I was expecting, especially coming out of that Camry I was in last week. This one is much smoother and much more comfortable, as are the seats actually. You know, a lot of times you'll get in the upper trims, you'll get sort of the cheap seats just wrapped in leather instead of wrapped in cloth, but these are actually legitimately comfortable, and this would be really nice to just cruise around on. You know, the bolsters are not too aggressive, but they're aggressive enough to sort of hold you in place. Same with the thigh bolsters, and we've got some good cushion going on and an adjustable lumbar support. They're legitimately comfortable seats. This one also has the Nissan Pro Pilot system, which is like your radar cruise mixed with your lane tracing. You know, a lot of the cars are adopting systems like this now. This one works really well. You know, it will actually work full speed as well. This one will do the stop and go traffic as well as the highway. As for the lane tracing though, it works really well when you're on the highway. When you're not on the highway, it's not always ready. We have a little indicator here on the dash that will turn from green to blue when it doesn't recognize the area, and it'll turn back to green when it's gonna, you know, take over again. You should obviously still have your hands on the wheel at all times, but it's a good system that does a really good job of keeping you centered in the lane. And actually the wheel itself is really nice and solid, and the heat on this wheel gets seriously hot. Yeah, I love it. You can, you know, if you had gloves on, you would still really feel that heat. The last couple of cars I've been in, the steering wheel, it was like only at 9 and 3 it would get warm, and it was like not really hot, just like not cold. This one gets seriously hot, and it's the whole wheel, which is awesome. I really love that. But in terms of other safety features, we have the pre-collision braking, we have blind spot monitoring, we have rear cross traffic alert, we have pedestrian monitoring, rear cross traffic braking as well. And what this one does actually with the blind spot monitoring, I really like the indicator is inside the car. You don't even have to turn and look out into your mirror to see that the blind spot, that there's someone in your blind spot. You can see it right out of your peripheral. It's right here inside the car. When it comes to steering, it's on the lighter side. It's one of those systems where it's light when you're going at slow speeds, and it'll get heavier as you speed up more and more. And it doesn't get so light though that it's like completely disconnected. That was something a lot of commuter type cars, like even on the Camry I was just in, the steering is very, very light. It's very disconnected. This one, it's still very easy, but it feels like there's a little bit of resistance. It feels a little bit more connected, and it stays composed in the corners as well. This is not something that you're going to be bombing down canyons with probably, but it stays pretty balanced in the corners, not too much body roll, and the steering is engaging enough that you can definitely have some fun if you are somebody that likes to drive down twisty roads. But this thing really shines on the commute. It's legitimately comfortable. Lots of great features. This car definitely exceeded my expectations overall. So I'm not the biggest fan of a CVT, but this one is efficient, and the turbocharged engine can certainly kick. It actually sounds pretty good. I am a fan of the styling, the ride quality, and the super comfortable seats, as well as the iron hot steering wheel. It really does daily duty and cruising very well, and avoids being another boring car in a sea of affordable Japanese sedan options. And at $35,000, this car certainly exceeds expectations.